I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for Life in the UK test part 68, restoration part 5 or something, while doing shoulder impingement training. And I was just talking about things which happened in the history of Britain and are still existing. And I remember the second castle is Housestead. So Housestead and Byondale are the two forts existing along the UNESCO World Heritage Site Hadrian Wall. And let's look at the word actually and how that one thing was written. It was Housestead and Vindolanda. I can't decide on the pronunciation, so I can't know how it is. Changing all the time the pronunciation. Vindolanda, Vindolanda. If you say Vindolanda, I expect an A. If you say Vindolanda, an I. And then the other vocals, O, A, and another A. It's confusing there. Vindolanda. It must be Vindolanda, but now the Roman word would be Vindolanda. Vinolander. That is no Roman word. And Housestead is also not Roman. We were where Charles II who was interested in science, and during his time the Royal Society of Science or something was founded, and that is the oldest surviving scientific organization. It was during his reign the Royal Society was formed to promote natural knowledge. So during his reign it was formed the Royal Society. Is that the name? Why is that the name? Royal Society does not specifically say that it is about natural knowledge or a scientific society. Why not Royal Scientific Society or something? Or the question is that the name, or is that just the description? It is the Royal Society of Natural Knowledge or something like that. During his reign, the Royal Society was formed to promote. We are saying it is the Royal Society. The name is the Royal Society. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? I don't mean that we take it, but that is the name, the actual name. The Royal Society, and it was there to promote natural knowledge, and it is the oldest surviving scientific society of the world. Among its early members were Sir Edmund Halley, who successfully predicted the return of a comet now called Halley's Comet, and Sir Isaac Newton. That is a long sentence. With Sir Isaac Newton is meant that Sir Isaac Newton was also one of his members of the Royal Society, which was there to promote natural knowledge and is the oldest surviving scientific society in the world. Let's do a bit of not announced shoulder impingement training, and if you participate in it, we'll just count this. So we're going with the shoulders just back, up, and in front, which makes it a forward shoulder circle. We're going back, up, and front, and down. We're going to do it, let's say, for 2 more times. So like this was the last one. And now we're doing backward shoulder circles. So we are going in front, up, back, and down, and you maybe actually think of them as 4-point shoulder circles. So in front, up, back, down, to develop an awareness of the scapulas and how it can be in the place. And the last time, in front, up, back, and down. And let's do the shrug. Shrug is an exercise that goes like that. You'll lift the arms up, and when you shrug, shoulders up, and when you release it all again. And if it causes pain, then don't do it. Yeah. Bringing the arms up, and shrugging the shoulders up, and releasing it all again. And we're repeating that. We're lifting the arms up, and we're shrugging the shoulders up, and releasing it again. And we're bringing the arms up, shrugging it last time up, and releasing it again. And let's do the next 2 exercises directly in one row. The word lifter. We are having long arms, now bending the elbow, hands onto fists. We're turning these fists to the inside, so internal rotation of the arms. Now we're going with the shoulders back, down, and together. And we're opening the chest a little bit to the sky. And bend under pressure. So turn the arms to the inside, and shoulders down and together. Now turn just the arms to the outside, and the shoulders are staying down and together. And now the arms again to the inside, and the shoulders down together. And the arms to the outside, last position, and the shoulders down. And release it again. And the same exercise. The arms at the outside, hands from the fists, a little bit in front, turning the arms in front, and going with the shoulders down and together. And now we're changing, the arms back, and this time the shoulders also changing, shoulders up and in front. And the pressure, so the arms back, shoulders up and in front. And again changing, the arms in front, shoulders down, together. And the arms back, shoulders up and in front. And release. So we had now a couple of names which were not of royalty, but they might be important. So we have Sir Isaac Newton, who was a part of a Royal Society formed during Charles II's reign to promote natural history, and which is the oldest surviving scientific society of the world. The other name was Edmund Halley. He predicted the return of an after him named Halley comet. Among its early members was Sir Edmund Halley, who successfully predicted the return of a comet now called Halley's Comet. Another name is Sir Francis Drake. He was a commander in the in the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Another name we had was Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales about a group of pilgrims traveling to, around 1400 to Canterbury, and we were talking stories on the way. Another name, William Caxton, who was the first to use the printing press and printed this Canterbury Tales in modern English. Another person was John Babur, who wrote the Bruce in the either in the Scottish language or in the Gaelic language. I'm not sure if it was said, I don't want to look it up now. And he wrote the Bruce about the Battle of Bannockburn 1314, in which the Scottish army defeated the English one. And we had William Shakespeare, 1564-1616, who was born at Stratford upon Avon. He was a playwright, an actor, and a poem writer. And he is famous for works like Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, something else, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. And we have some quotes ahead we have, for example, all words a stage out of As You Like It, or for example, The Darling Buds of May out of Sonnet 18, Should I Compare Me to a Summer's Day, or To Be or Not to Be out of Romeo and Juliet. It was Hamlet, the other one, also out of Hamlet, To Be or Not to Be. Some works we wrote, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, Ophelia. He did write Ophelia, but it was not listed. A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, I skipped one, Romeo and Juliet, and we have also out of Henry V, Once More Upon the Bridge, and I think we have one more. And when we had as persons, not so many. Let's go through it. So first, William Shakespeare, we did not make a Rose by any other name, which is out of Romeo and Juliet. It was Macbeth. It was Macbeth, the other work by William Shakespeare, which I didn't name. When other persons who were not of royalty, but which were named. So in Scotland, many people continue to speak Gaelic, and the Scots language also developed. A number of poets began to write in the Scots language. So one example is John Babur, who wrote the Bruce about the Battle of Bannockburn. Did you say Bannockburn? So it was in Scottish language, that Bruce has a work by John Babur, the Bruce. And another name, another person, which was not royalty. I think we could technically say Oliver Cromwell, because Oliver Cromwell, we did at least not hear anything about royalty. We know that he was a general of the parliamentary army of the Roundheads in the Civil War against the Cavaliers of the King, and then I also made another noticement. I don't remember what it was, but yes, maybe he did not give the money, Sir Charles I, for his army, but he was supported by the Cavaliers. So we have here the Scots, who were invading England in 1640, I guess. Yes, in 1640, who were invading England because they disliked that he wanted to impose onto the Presbyterian Church of Scotland a revisited prayer book. So that is why we invaded. But they were against that he was executed and declared his son Charles II to the king. So it can be that there were a lot of people in England who were not giving the king money to defend against the Scots, but now the king had to build an army against the parliamentary army, the Roundheads, that there were these supporters, these Cavalier supporters, who supported the king. So because I was a bit speculating about how now the king got money for his army, his Cavaliers army, but it was written he had supporters, the Cavaliers. So maybe now at the time the Civil War started, he got supporters. So that could be where he got it from. And yes, Oliver Cromwell was a general in this, and also in this war, for example. There were the battles Martzenmoor and Nesby. That was one very important army, the king's army of Charles I lost. And he also then won against his son, Charles II, in the battles of Dunbar and Worcester. After Worcester, Charles II had fled. He hid famously in an oak and then went to Europe. And then from the Netherlands in May 1660, he was invited back and crowned king. And the other thing about Charles I was that he was the last monarch to set a foot into the House of Commons. He wanted to arrest 5 leaders, but he wasn't successful. They were warned, or what was it? They had been warned, so they had been warned. They did not sense it, they were warned. So we are through with this chapter, the restoration. And now we're through with all the persons we could find who were named so far, which were not of royalty. Let's do some shoulder impingement training. We are doing 2 exercises, I guess. So we're having the arms together, and we're bringing them down to the side. This is the pretzel curl. And just concentrate and observe and think about how the scapulas are moving. How we're going around the ribcage, a bit down, now back together a little bit, how we're following the humerus. Just concentrate on the scapulas. And just one last time to the outside and to the inside. And now the last exercise. We are not doing it. I don't have my tennis sock, so my sock or my tennis ball. So we're just doing the last stretching exercise. So we're bringing the arm in front and we're stretching the arm. And the shoulder stays back, and now we're stretching the arm. The shoulder stays back. And let's look at the other 3 things which were a bit to memorize in a row. These were the 6 wives of King Henry VIII, where we have Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr, and they are divorced, killed, died, divorced, killed, and survived. And we have 5 fundamental values and principles of the United Kingdom, and they are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberties, tolerance of faiths and beliefs of others, and participation in community life. And 5 ways to live by were named here more or less in the way of treating others with fairness, looking after ourselves and others, and which one did you want else? Respect the rights of others and their opinion. That is what we wanted to start with. Respect the rights of others and their opinions, treat others with fairness, look after oneself and others. And with that, I'm ending that. I thank you very much. Until the next time, when we're going on with Isaac Newton. We know a bit about Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was a member of the Royal Society, founded during the reign of Charles II, and this Royal Society was there to promote natural history, and it is the oldest surviving scientific society in the world. Another member was William Haley, who we did actually use the word successfully. I used once in a video earlier objective, intermediate subjective. So we used successfully to say that he predicted the return of a comet, and that comet is now named after him, Halley's Comet, who successfully predicted the return of a comet now called Halley's Comet, And so Isaac Newton was another member, and about that Isaac Newton we will talk in the next video. Thank you very much, and until the next video, and Isaac Newton.